Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, beautiful people. This is me, Jay, and we are on the episode 6 of the Triple Threat podcast. Um, this episode is mostly going to cover sports that I'm interested in. This is also going to represent a segment of the podcast that is strictly my area. So there will be no consistent season here. It will be whatever week, whatever I feel like that we are covering of the international sports. To start off with our episode, let's talk about one of my most favorite sports in the international sense, Formula One. The preseason test in Bahrain just concluded, and the results of them are quite shocking, to be honest, as well as predictable. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc ended the test with the single fastest lap time in a really emphatic way by being 0.811 seconds ahead of the next person with the fastest time, who was Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli. Now, I know what you guys may be thinking, that headline times in testing aren't really usually the place to, look to gauge the competitive order. But this did, in fact, reflect the picture in one important way. Mercedes and Ferrari look like they are going into the new season in the best shape possible. Andrea Stella, team principal of world champions McLaren, said on Friday evening that this test has confirmed that Ferrari and Mercedes look like the teams to beat. McLaren and Red Bull are probably very similar. On Friday evening, Leclerc did actually set the best race simulation of the week, slightly quicker than Red Bull's Max Verstappen and McLaren's Oscar Piastri the day before, when they set more or less exactly the same time. With Red Bull's Max Verstappen setting a lap record of 1 minute 33.109 seconds, and McLaren setting a lap record of 1 minute 32.861 seconds. Now, Mercedes is looking like the team that has the best engine. And the reason for that is a bit of a controversial one. Why? Because their rivals believe they have found a way of exploiting the rule restricting the compression ratio, a measurement of the cylinder displacement between the two extremes of the piston stroke. To 16:1, the rules dictate it is measured at ambient temperature. Now, the rivals, or rather the rivals, they believe that Mercedes has found a way to build these pistons to increase that compression ratio under heat for 18:1, meaning that they get more power and more thrust out of corners, speeding them up. While Mercedes is making leaps and bounds in finding loopholes in the rules, Aston Martin is looking like is in a really bad place. Like they are in a world of pain. With design legend Adrian Newey at the helm, Honda, world champions with Red Bull as recently as 2024, and the money of the billionaire owner Lawrence Stroll and Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, all ingredients of success seem to be there. But the new car, delayed by the fact that Newey did not arrive until March last year, is uncompetitive and difficult, and the engine is lacking in power and is really unreliable. Both the internal combustion engine and hybrid elements of the new Honda power unit are said to be well behind their best. Now, while I was doing some research into this, I found some really weird, points that when on the Wednesday meeting with the F1 Commission, it was discovered that the Honda power unit couldn't even recover the energy at the lower limit of 250 kilowatts compared to the 350 kilowatts the other engines are recovering, which was so bad that at the start of the final day of the test, Honda realistically only had one battery left, and they were testing in short spells and borrowing data from other cars. Now, you really have to feel bad about Aston Martin's driver Fernando Alonso, as this must have come with really agonizing sense of deja vu because he spent 3 really painful years at McLaren when Honda was underprepared when they re-entered F1 in 2015. Publicly, Alonso is saying optimistic as he said short and medium term. I don't think there's anything to be impossible. I don't think there's going to be anything impossible to fix. It is just that he is turning 44 this year and his contract is ending. Time is something that he seems to be lacking. The drivers seem to also be sort of against the new cars, as these new cars feature near like a 50-50 split in like internal combustion engine and electrical components. With the amount of hybrid power that they increased was roughly threefold. A component of the engine that is used to recover the energy for the hybrid parts was removed, and the batteries more or less stayed the same. So all of the cars are quite literally starving for powers. I swear to God, they feel like children in Africa. Now, these new changes have left some unusual aspects, but in the way that they contribute to the driving factor. You know, the drivers can't go flat out into the run-up starting off a qualifying lap. They're taking corners in higher gears than they would like to. It's really not letting F1 drivers be themselves. All of these guys, they're not doing this for money. They're doing this for the love of the game. They're doing this to live on that edge at full throttle. But because of the component changes, they cannot just give it their all. Lap times are, slower, and for me as a purist, drivers who want to be on the limit all times, this is not ideal. However, having seen the cars on track and watched them on television is highly unlikely the average viewer will notice any difference. They still look like F1 cars, and in some ways are looking design-wise are looking better than last year's. Well, that was me sort of shooting facts and research that I'd done without much personality to it. And that's honestly what I have on F1 right now. Chris, you have any thoughts about it?
I think the part where you mentioned that these drivers aren't doing it for the money, they're doing it for the love of the game, I think is an understatement. Let's be real here. Let's be real. These guys are loaded. If they wanted to live cozy lives, they wouldn't need the money that they're getting from F1. They, like Jay said, they are doing this purely because they want to and they love doing it. And taking their ability away to drive at the speeds and intensities that they want to is kind of a disservice to the entertainment that they bring us on a weekly basis during the season. Like you see it on those guys' faces when they're up on that podium. They are there for the thrill and they love it. So it'll be interesting to see how the slower cars and the less intense turns are going to turn out, but I don't know. Part of me hopes that this isn't a permanent decision.
I mean, when is the next time we're gonna get a meme like do Max Verstappen?
I mean, you keep telling me, a guy like Max Verstappen winning a race and going, you know what? I'm gonna do it faster than the next guy did. You can't do that with downgrades like this in terms of speed and power capacity. So I don't know. I feel like even the casual fan is going to notice it and feel it.
Well, the racers are just getting restricted by the new models.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, because, the cars can't keep up with their drivers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been training for decades for these faster cars, and now you're going to tell them, no, we're going to slow you down. It's like, you made all these safety improvements, all of these training guides and whatnot, and you've got these guys at peak form, and you're just going to handicap them? It doesn't make sense. So.
Well, that was our F1 segment. Let's move on to something that makes more sense to me. Cricket. International World Cup is going on right now. We are in the Super 8 bracket stage. We have 8 teams that have gone through the group stages and qualifications, and they have qualified for this stage. The teams that are through are India, Pakistan, West Indies, England, Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka, South Africa, and New Zealand.
Whoop whoop, South Africa represent!
Of course, the favorites of the tournaments are looking like India, West Indies, and South Africa, with their run rates, like their native run rates, being above 1.5 compared to their groups. Australia, surprisingly, got knocked out of the group stage because of most of their star players, star bowlers, being sick. Apparently, they had caught some sort of stomach flu when they moved to India. In more surprising news of the group stage of this tournament, USA almost beat India, even though their entire team was sort of built up of Indians and Pakistanis.
Friendly fire.
Like, the country doesn't even know that their team was probably competing in this tournament.
I mean, I didn't know they were competing, and I don't follow cricket as closely as I'd like to, but I do have a South African background, so cricket makes sense to me. Cricket is something I look forward to, but when you came and told me that, oh yeah, the states are not only playing, but they nearly upset, what was it, India?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a conniption. Like, that was news to me. So,
even bigger news to me than that was freaking Nepal almost beating England.
Okay, I'm not a big cricket guy, and I know that's messed up.
England is where cricket originated. They're supposed to be the guys that are in the top 5.
So did England play awful, or did Nepal just recruit Superman?
It seems like England sort of underestimated Nepal,
Okay.
and their batsmen took the bowlers for granted, which led to chain wickets falling.
Oh.
And the total being relatively low on the lower end
Yeah.
to chase. Oman, in some good news, almost took a game from Zimbabwe during the group stage, making it much harder for Australia to get through.
Okay.
They also took a game off of Sri Lanka in the warm-up round. Now, Oman is the country that I think this is their third time qualifying in the history of their in the history of this cricket T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And they're giving a fight for how small that country is.
They're showing up.
They're showing up. This entire tournament has been about underdogs showing up. Yes, the Titans are still there,
As they always will be.
but the underdogs are showing them you cannot underestimate them, or they will swipe the rug right underneath your feet. Now, in the more latest news of this World Cup, Pakistan versus New Zealand got cancelled due to rain. I have some choice words about that with the cricket community. Please play in, shielded stadiums. With the amount of games that I have seen being abandoned or interrupted by rain, and then the fans that are there don't have fun. The fans at home don't have fun. Schedules get messed up, and it's just a whole kerfuffle.
You know what I don't get about that is how many sports do you see, unless it's torrential downpour, they will just play through it.
Cricket, you cannot do that.
Okay.
For the sole reason that no one other than the wicket keeper is wearing gloves.
Oh yeah, I suppose it'd be really hard to catch.
It would be
Anything.
near impossible to catch the ball.
Okay.
Baseball is the same thing. If ever there's rain, they just
Oh,
either
yeah, I
postpone
guess,
the game
yeah.
a little bit or delay it actually.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't stop after like an hour or two, they just postpone it.
As well as the ball usually has to hit the pitch, and if the pitch is wet, the ball is not gonna bounce.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it makes sense that for them to stop the game and like abandon the game due to rain. It's just there. I feel like there should be countermeasures against it because the number of games per year that get abandoned due to rain is insane.
I mean, at least precautions.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Like we have enough weather detection that they will know day of if there's a risk. So.
Right. Anywho's, tomorrow it's gonna be India versus South Africa. So
We're not friends tomorrow.
we're not friends tomorrow.
Okay. Good.
This is gonna be fun.
Both teams, Titans in their own league, just duking it out.
Historical Titans too.
True.
So this.
Last year's T20 World Cup final was India versus South Africa. It's
What's
a
the
rematch.
bet, boys?
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out tomorrow. Tomorrow, Canada versus US is also happening at the Olympics, so at the same time.
Yeah. No, but South Africa versus India, I think you can consider that a grudge match at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
South Africa is coming in bruised from last year's finals, and they're coming for vengeance. Let's see if Ishan Kishan, the opener for India, actually plays or not. Moving on from cricket, League of Legends esports. In latest news, Gen G qualified for the first stand tournament. Now, for the uninitiated in esports,
Me.
League of Legends is a MOBA game, full form, multiplayer online battle arena.
Pick me.
All right, Miggy. It's a game where five players play against another 5 players to destroy their base. It is essentially capture the flag
With a lot of extra steps.
with quite a few extra steps. In the community of League of Legends, we do not call that game having a learning curve. We call that slamming your face into a wall.
I mean, I prefer learning cliff.
It's a learning volcano.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, if that's how you want to look at it. I mean more...
I mean-
You open the game, you shove somebody off a cliff, and you hope they learn to fly.
I understand the volcano
Analogy.
analogy because you learn it gradually, and then once you've learned it, you dive off at the deep end and get addicted to it.
The most accurate depiction of a hate-hate relationship that you cannot get out of.
You're not gonna drown. You're not gonna float. You're just gonna burn.
But yeah, so Gen G in that first stand tournament.
Gen G in that first stand tournament, they just qualified by beating BFX, BNK FRX, in a match score of 3-1. Now, for those who know, BFX taking a game off of Gen G is quite unprecedented, but also they beat T1 last week 3-1.
A mid-team on a hot streak?
A mid team on a bit of a hot streak. Now tomorrow it's gonna be T1 versus DK in the lower brackets, and winner of that will be playing BFX.
Oh my goodness, please. I want to see a T1 BNK rematch.
Just a grudge match of Pays versus Diablo, who has more balls on the table.
Ooh.
In North America in League of Legends, Lions wiped the floor with FlyQuest. Like, in one of those games, the goal lead was bigger than the average age of the entire FlyQuest roster.
And professional league players are young, so...
It was a 20,000 goal
20?
lead.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's as much gold as the entire team has at like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Like, it was a wipeout.
But I mean, after last year's shenanigans, I think FlyQuest deserves a bit of being dragged through the mud, if one were to say. That was just a PR disaster. So
Quite a disaster. I'm sorry, I'm just on that month of my time.
if you weren't on that month, you'd play better.
Right?
Just saying.
On LEC, today's games, Giant X versus Team Heretics. We do not talk about those games. Honestly, I stopped paying attention to that region after Los Ratones got knocked out. That was the only team that was bringing them views this year.
Los Ratones was, is, and always will be a content-focused team. And the content-focused team went to the Clown League, clowned on them, and then dipped.
And now, they're disbanded. Sad to see them go, but holy shit did they make a legacy.
You will be remembered, Bousey.
Ended up on a boom.
Big time.
Big, big boom. He did show them that he has truly changed. Well, that is it for me for this episode, honestly. My notes are running out, and I have nothing more to say. The mic is going off. Good night. See you later. Shabakir. Namaste.
Max Verstappen.